We want to know who they are, where they're from. Are they from another country? Are they from another world, another planet? U.S. Navy is working on methods to report UFOs. Well, we know that the credible pilots of the Air Force, Navy, even commercial pilots have given testimony of their witnessing UFOs while they were in flight, or perhaps stationing a radar. And we even have images of them on radar. We have images of them from the pilots themselves. We have voice recording of pilots viewing them and the speeds and the paths that these UFOs were taking. This is our Sputnik News. The people that are investigating this want to know where these UFOs are coming from. Are they another country's advanced technology? Are they from another world? Now, the U.S. Navy is drafting guidelines for pilots to officially report unidentified aircraft or unidentified flying objects, UFOs that is, which may help destigmatize the way of informing the service about these types of encounters. There have been a number of reports of unauthorized and or unidentified aircraft entering various military-controlled ranges and designated airspace in recent years. This is what the Navy claimed in a recent statement in Politico. This is what it said, quote, "The Navy is updating and formalizing the process by which reports of any such suspected incursions can be made to the cognizant authorities. A new message to the fleet that will detail the steps for reporting is in a draft," end quote. So this is what the U.S. Navy says. They have highly trained military personnel and pilots that have had enough encounters with UFOs to make it feasible to officially report them in a systematic and formal way now. Nick Pope, who used to investigate UFOs for the British government, said that he welcomes these new guidelines, which should make it easier for U.S. Navy pilots and other military personnel and other commercial, perhaps personnel, commercial pilots, to report UFOs. But of course, this is the U.S. Navy and the military that wants the witnessing and the reporting of these types of encounters. Quote, "Many years ago, the United States Air Force had the policy lead for this subject and ran a program called Project Blue Book," end quote. This is what Pope explains. He was explaining series of studies of UFOs conducted by U.S. Air Force starting in 1952. This project was eventually terminated in 1969 because the U.S. government decided that UFOs were no longer of any interest. But the sightings continued and pilots had nowhere to report them. This is what Pope said, quote, "Over the years, a culture developed where pilots, military and civilian alike, would see UFOs, but where many of these sightings went unreported because of the perception that the government was not interested and because pilots feared they would not be believed, that they might be ridiculed, and that their state of mind might be questioned, leading them to being grounded or even losing their jobs," end quote. This is what Pope explained. Now, how could anyone claim that they were no longer interested? Now, let's also remember that the former Defense Minister of Canada claimed, I believe he's still alive, must be something like 95 years old, claimed that he knows of the fact that UFOs are coming from other worlds, other planets outside of our Earth, and that there are extraterrestrials coming in with those UFOs, and that these ETs are among us. This is Paul Hellyer who's been saying this, and he's been disclosing this over and over and over again. You can find his videos and his interviews and his statements all over the YouTube, all over YouTube. This is Paul Hellyer, former Defense Minister of Canada. Now, the fact that Project Blue Book was terminated, the Defense Intelligence Agency continued, though, to investigate UFOs between the 5-year period, 2007 to 2012, even though this was not known to the public. The research cost around $25 million and was funded by the Department of Defense under its Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP. It was made public in 2017 after a Freedom of Information Act request by Stephen Aftergood, Director of the Federation of American Scientists Project on Government Security. This is what Pope said. He says, "We now know that despite the termination of Project Blue Book, the U.S. government was still interested and that investigations were continuing, but without the media and the public being told." So this was sort of hidden. It was secret. They didn't want to make big news out of it, but they were still, of course, interested and examining all this. The Pentagon's AATIP initiative, for example, investigating several such cases. 3 declassified videos of U.S. Navy F-18 jets chasing UFOs were made public in December 2017, when the existence of AATIP was first revealed. This is what Pope explains. Then the video footage released in 2017 showed a 2004 encounter between 2 U.S. Navy F-A-18 Super Hornets and an unknown object, a UFO object. In the recording, the fighter pilots attempted to intercept the unidentified flying object, the UFO, described as having, quote, "no obvious wings or tails," end quote. These pilots were not able to intercept this mysterious aircraft. In 2017, New York Times also reported that even though the Pentagon shut down its secret program to study UFOs in 2012, it continued to investigate UFOs brought to its attention by service members. Pope said, "We still don't know if these objects are foreign military aircraft or drones or something else, but pilots do see them. Radars operators track them. Now the U.S. Navy wants to make sure it acquires as much data on this phenomena as possible. I strongly support this new initiative. Any nation wants to ensure the territorial integrity of its airspace. If there's something in our skies, we want to know what it is. Whatever people believe about UFOs, there are defense, national security, and air safety issues here. Of course." And also, let's say that there are many other countries that are, for years, for decades, have been disclosing the existence of UFOs and ETs. England has done so recently. Canada has been doing so. Paul Hellyer himself has been giving details about this, although we have not seen any pictures. It's just his words, verbal information. And from what I understand, even Russia has come out with their disclosure as well on this. So hopefully we'll get more news on this soon enough. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, And we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.